Now to the state budget, and it's a belt-tightener. Billions in revenue have dried up, and Treasurer Kim Wells is cutting his cloth by bumping up fines and axing another 600 public sector jobs. He says his financial strategy is both responsible and necessary and will deliver a modest surplus. Our state political reporter Francis Bell joins us now from State Parliament.
Ian, the Treasurer Kim Wells is calling it Victoria's toughest budget in a decade. He's delivering his promised budget surplus, but it's coming at the cost of public sector jobs and a range of government programs. A budget for the times.
The financial conditions that have been faced by this state are the worst in a decade.
They include an $8 billion collapse in state revenue over 4 years and growing net debt, forecast to hit $21 billion next financial year. Still, the Treasurer is sticking to his surplus promise. But to achieve it, there's plenty of pain ahead.
Going into deficit for this government was not an option.
Instead, there'll be $1 billion in spending cuts over the next 4 years. A further 600 jobs will be slashed from the public sector, on top of those already announced last December, bringing the total number to 4,200.
We are very confident that this number will be achieved by voluntary redundancy.
If not, forced redundancies will begin. At the same time, the government's clawing back a further $800 million in revenue. Fines for offences from littering to speeding will increase by an average of 12.5%. There'll be a crackdown on tax compliance, and another $420 million in dividends will be stripped from water authorities over 4 years. The first homeowners bonus is also being scrapped, energy concessions for low-income earners reduced, and education assistance programs cut.
As I said, this is a very tough budget, but we believe it's a responsible budget.
As for the sweeteners, there's $1 billion for skills, but increased funding for courses like carpentry and engineering comes at the expense of the remaining 80% of vocational courses. There's $2.5 billion in new infrastructure projects, most of them already announced, including a new prison and road upgrades, with planning money for the proposed east-west road link. Work cover premiums will be cut by 3% after an unprecedented $471 million was pulled from the authority earlier this year to boost the state's coffers. There's also a major child protection package worth $340 million over 5 years, as well as funding for regional hospitals and some schools.
I commend the bill to the House.
A tough budget, but selling it is likely to be even tougher. Well, the backlash against the public sector job cuts has already begun, and a range of interest groups have delivered their verdict on the budget. The business lobby is happy, but public transport advocates and education advocates say there's nothing in it for them.